Now in this topic we'll be discussing about the properties of Z transforms. Having known the definition of Z transform as well as what is ROC, region of convergence, we'll define the properties and prove them under this section. Now linearity property, we have done this in DTFT as well as CTFT. So linearity property is if input is weighted sum of two or more signals, then output is the weighted sum of responses to individual signals. That means if I take x of n forming Z transform pair with x of z with ROC as R1, that means x of z is having the ROC as R1. If you have y of n which is having Z transform of y of z with ROC R2, then if input is weighted sum a x1 x of n plus b y of n, then the output is a into x of z plus b into y of z, where ROC is intersection of R1 and R2. Okay, intersection of R1 and R2. That means if the explanation of intersection of R1 and R2 I will be explaining while we do the problems. That will become much evident for you then. So for now, R1 and R2, if you have for linearity property, it will become the intersection of R1 and R2. Now the proof is similar. You take Z of n here Z of z, right? Or you take different because you already have, you're dealing with the z. So x, y, I'll take d of n. So here also I will take capital D of z, and ROC is R1 intersection R2. So now how do I get D of z? It is from the definition of Z transform, summation n is equal to minus infinity to infinity d of n z power minus n. So summation n is equal to minus infinity to infinity d of n is a x of n plus b y of n into z power minus n. So summation n is equal to minus infinity to infinity, I can split this up into a into x of n z power minus n plus b into y of n z power minus n. So I can split this as a into summation n is equal to minus infinity to infinity x of n z power minus n plus b into summation n is equal to minus infinity to infinity y of n z power minus n. So this is nothing but a into this term is nothing but x of z. From the definition it is Z transform of x of n plus b into y of z. So this is d of z, which is equal to the right hand side which we were supposed to prove. That means if input is a weighted sum because it's you are multiplying by some constants a and b, weighted sum of two or more signals, output is a weighted sum of responses to individual signals. Now the next property which we will be dealing with is time shift property. We have seen, I've proved in DTFT as well as CTFT. Time shift is there is a shift in the time in the input. So x of n forms Z transform with the x of z. So if there is a time shift in the input, that is x of n minus n naught, what is the Z transform? So this I need to prove, that is z power minus n naught into x of z I get. So proof is similar. I will take this as d of n, this as d of z. So what is d of z? Summation n is equal to minus infinity to infinity d of n z power minus n. So summation n is equal to minus infinity to infinity d of n is x of n minus n naught z power minus n. So what is, by now you should be knowing how to prove this. The summation can be written, simplified further by substituting n minus n naught as some other variable m. So when n is equal to minus infinity, m will also be minus infinity because we have substituted n minus n naught as m, and here you will get m is equal to infinity. So x of n minus n naught is m z power minus, what is n from here? It is m plus n naught. So I will be writing m plus n naught. So since the summation is on m, z power minus n naught is a constant, so I'll take it out. Summation m is equal to minus infinity to infinity x of m z power minus n minus m. So this is nothing but z power minus n naught into what is this summation? X of m into z power minus m. See, x of z is nothing but summation n is equal to minus infinity to infinity x of n z power minus n. N is replaced by m everywhere, so it is also x of z. So the limit doesn't matter as far as input is given. I mean x of n or x of m z power minus m, or x of n z power minus n, or x of l z power minus l, everything relates to the z transform of x of z. So d of z is z power minus n into x of z. That means if there is a shift in the input, there will be a complex multiplication at the output that is given by z power minus n naught. That is the shift. Now the next topic is scaling in z domain. Now we know that x of n forms a z transform pair with x of z. See, in DTFT and CTFT we had the multiplication by an exponential. So that means there will be a shift in the frequency. But here you have scaling in z domain. So if you have multiplication by alpha power n x of n, where alpha is a complex quantity, we'll get the z transform as z divided by alpha. That means my z transform spectrum will get expanded by a factor alpha. Now I need to prove this. Now I'll take d of n as this and d of z as this. As usual, what is d of z? It is summation n is equal to minus infinity to infinity d of n z power minus n. So summation n is equal to minus infinity to infinity alpha power n x of n z power n, because d of n is alpha power n x of n. Now summation n is equal to minus infinity to infinity, I can write this as x of n into alpha inverse z power minus n, alpha inverse z power minus n. So alpha power minus 1 into minus n is plus n, z power minus n. So I've just rearranged the terms, and alpha power minus 1. So now example here, x of z is equal to summation n is equal to minus infinity to infinity x of n z power minus n. So if you have x of n into z power minus n, I would be writing it as x of z. That means this term is written here and minus n has to be there. So here what you have, it is alpha power minus 1 into n into z. So this must be x of n into, if you had z power minus n, it is x of z. If you have this term, it will be x of alpha inverse z, which is nothing but x of z by alpha, which is our right hand side. So if you have z, it will become x of z. If you have this factor, whatever factor is there, that will be the z transform. Now the next property is time reversal. So if x of n forms a z transform pair with x of z, then time reversal is, this is my time, this is a z domain signal, it will be x of minus n forming z transform pair with x of 1 by z. That means if you have a negative reversal in the time, there will be a reversal in z also. That means there should be a reciprocal. So if ROC is R here, then ROC of after taking the time reversal after using the time reversal property, ROC will be 1 by R. Now how do you prove this? Again you take this as d of n, some other signal d of n, this is d of z. So what is d of z? It is summation n is equal to minus infinity to infinity d of n z power minus n. So summation n is equal to minus infinity to infinity, d of n is x of minus n z power minus n. Now substitute minus n as n, right? So I'll be getting summation n is equal to minus infinity will become n is equal to, I am substituting it as minus n. So it will be infinity here and minus infinity here, and x of minus n, x of n and z power minus n will be n, right? So this summation limits would change because n is substituted as minus n, so I will be getting lower limit as infinity and upper limit as minus infinity. But when you sum up from minus infinity to plus infinity, if you sum up the samples, that is also equal to summing up from infinity to minus infinity. It is same, so I can change the limits minus infinity to infinity x of n. So I'll put z power minus 1 power minus n as I've done in the previous case. So if it is x of n z power minus n, it is x of z as I've told in the previous case, because x of z is summation n is equal to minus infinity to infinity x of n z power minus n. If it is x of n into z power minus n, you get z here. So if you have x of n into z power minus 1 power minus n, I will be getting x into x of z inverse, which is x of 1 by z. That is the right hand side. So the next property is convolution property, which is you are very familiar with. So convolution basically deals with convolution in time domain will be equal to the multiplication in frequency domain, or the similar thing holds good here as well in case of z domain. So convolution, if x of n forms a z transform pair with x of z, y of n forms a z transform pair with y of z, then d of n is equal to x of n convolution y of n forms z transform pair with d of z as y of z into x of z is equal to x of z into y of z. Remember, this is convolution operation in time domain, which gets converted into multiplication operation in z domain. So I need to prove this. So what I need to prove is I need to find what is d of z, that is summation n is equal to minus infinity to infinity d of n z power minus n. So summation n is equal to minus infinity to infinity, d of n is x of n convolution y of n z power minus n. Now summation n is equal to minus infinity to infinity, I can take x of n convolution y of n as summation m is equal to minus infinity to infinity, because n is already been taken here. So I can take x of m into y of n minus m, because the convolution property in time domain is x of n convolution y of n is summation n is equal to minus infinity to infinity x of k into x of k into y of n minus k. So this is k, the summation is on k, because convolution of x of n into y of n is summation k is equal to minus infinity to infinity x of k into y of n minus k. So here also it will be summation on some other variable m is equal to minus infinity to infinity x of m into y of n minus m. Now if I replace n minus m by some other variable, that is k, and you have one more term here, z power minus n. If I substitute n minus m as k, so remember I'll take this inner summation out, that is m is equal to minus infinity to infinity x of m, and I have this summation n is equal to minus infinity to infinity y of n minus m into z power minus n. So this is the term which I have. I've just moved x of m outside, I have taken the outer summation inside. So n minus m, I am substituting it as k. This is the thing which we have followed throughout in proving the convolution theorem. So n minus m is equal to k. So what is n? N will be m plus k. So continuing this here, so I will be getting summation m is equal to minus infinity to infinity x of m into summation, I have substituted n minus m as k, so n will be replaced by k. So I will be getting k is equal to minus infinity to infinity, because n is substituted as When n is equal to minus infinity, k will be minus infinity. When n is equal to plus infinity, k will be plus infinity. I think this part is clear to everyone. N minus m, I am substituting it as k. So I will be getting y of n minus m as k into z power minus n is what? M plus k. So I can rearrange this summation m is equal to minus infinity to infinity x of m, z power minus m I will take here, summation k is equal to minus infinity to infinity y of k, z power minus k. Now what is this first term and what is the second term? It is x of m, z power minus m. It is similar to x of n, z power minus n with limit as n. Here you have m. So this is x of z and this is y of z because you have the limit as k. So whatever limit you have, z should be raised to the negative power of that. Here also z should be raised to the negative power of the limit. So it will be the z transform. So this is nothing but your d of z. So the bottom line here is, if you have convolution of two signal in time domain, it will get converted into multiplication of the z transform of those two signals, or multiplication in z domain. Now the next property is differentiation in z domain. Now if you have x of n forming z transform pair with x of z, I need to find what is the left hand side signal that will give a differentiation in z domain for me. Now let me take the generic equation of x of z, that is summation n is equal to minus infinity to infinity x of n z power minus n. So differentiation in z domain, that means I need to differentiate here with respect to z on both sides. So differentiate with respect to z on both sides. So differentiation of x of z. Here remember, we are differentiating with respect to z. X of n is a constant, so summation n is equal to minus infinity to infinity x of n is a constant, d by dz of z of minus n. So this is summation n is equal to minus infinity to infinity x of n into minus n into z power minus n minus 1, because that differentiation of x to the power minus 2 is minus 2 x to the power minus 3. So it is minus n z power minus n minus 1. So I can take z power minus n out, or z power minus 1 out. So summation n is equal to minus infinity to infinity x of n into n into z power minus n, right? So this is z power minus 1. I can write it as 1 by z and multiply it across here. So I'll be getting z into d by dz of x of z is equal to summation n is equal to minus infinity to infinity x of n into n into z power minus n. Now if you have x of z, if you have the summation n is equal to minus infinity to infinity x of n into z power minus n, we'll be writing it as z x of z. That means this signal, the discrete time signal, becomes x. That means whatever you have the function here, that will become whose z transform will be represented here. Here we have this summation represents z transform of n into x of n, because the function is here. So z transform of n into x of n is z into d by dz of x of z. One more thing which I have missed out here is there is a minus sign here, so I will be getting minus, and if I cross multiply I will be getting minus z. So the z transform of n into x of n is nothing but minus z into d by dz of x of z. That means if you have, this is a ramp, remember n means ramp. How do you represent a ramp? When n is equal to 0 it is 0, when n is equal to 1 it is 1, when n is equal to 2, it is 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So n is a ramp. So differentiation in z domain, that it refers to minus z into d by dz of x of z. So differentiation refers to this, or this property can also be called as multiplication by a ramp. Why? Because you have multiplication of n. So this is a ramp function because its amplitude goes on increasing. So the property can be called differentiation in z domain or multiplication by ramp. So both are similar. I think I've made it clear. If you multiply n to your discrete time signal x of n, your z transform will be minus z into d by dz of z transform of x of n. So that is x of z. So this is the proof for differentiation in z domain property. So I have solved almost proved the properties of Z transform. So we'll apply these properties in the future videos to solve some problems. Thank you for watching.